birthday, Alex.
There you go.
Don't say that.
Daddy, am I allowed to take more picture with that camera?
Shut it off, please.
Auto, when I turn the camera off.
Agus Diva Carja, Fulcha Road, Gajibalia Hatlia, Trevor, Asanam Dom, Agus Paddy, Asanam Optimoni, Fulcha Airboard. You were told the tour is in Irish, yes? Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Dublin. Welcome aboard the Grey Line City Sightseeing, of where we're travelling today. You'll also notice that you have a choice of two routes, red or yellow. At the moment, you're on the yellow route. The yellow route is a yellow bus. The red route, guess what? It's a red bus. Rocket science on the city tour. Yes, you can interchange as often as you like, every 10 minutes, red or yellow. 5 o'clock. Will entitle you to discounts if you're going into Guinness, Jemison, the Wax Museum, amongst others. Do show your tickets going in. You are entitled to a discount on the admission fee. All those discounts listed inside your brochure with the map inside of where. His name is Ian Ritchie. He won a competition for a monument in the centre of Dublin. There were 200 entries to choose from, and they chose this, a stainless steel spike pointing high into the sky. Unofficially, we call it the Spire in the Mire, which is the birth of the nation. It gets this title because it was right outside this building that the 1916 rebellion started 89 years ago. A gentleman called Patrick Pearse stood outside the post office and read out the Declaration of Independence. As we go by, you'll see bullet holes on the columns from that time. And inside of pictorial history showing you the main events. The Rising led to the War of Independence in 1919. That went on for 2 years. Following that, you had a truce and a treaty. Not everybody was happy with the treaty, so you had civil war in Ireland, which raged on for another year, and then finally 1922 saw the creation of the Free State. The Constitution was formed in 1937, the Republic in 1949. I've condensed the history of the country into 5 seconds, but it all started outside the post office. That's why it's called the birth of the nation. So as you come down to the final section here of O'Connell Street, you can see they've really refurbished the area, all these footpaths and trees, all new additions to the street, and then the statue of the man himself, Daniel O'Connell, the Catholic Liberator. The monument dating from 1864, Daniel of course on the top, and he's facing the River Liffey, which we're just about to cross, taking you now from the north side to the south side of the city. The River Liffey dividing the city of Dublin in two. The river is over 80 miles long. It rises in County Wicklow, travels through County Kildare before coming to the county of Dublin. And then from Dublin it flows out to the Irish Sea. And you might like to know it's only 40 miles or 66 kilometres of Irish Sea to take you to Wales and the United Kingdom if anybody fancies a swim. Now a couple of statistics. Dublin City covers a total area of 44 square miles and has a population of just over 1 million people, 41% of that under 25, making Dublin the youngest capital city in Europe. The Republic of Ireland has a population of 4 million, Northern Ireland 1 million, so that makes a grand total of 5 million people living on the island. 32 counties make up the island. 26 of those counties are the Republic, and then 6 in the north part of the United Kingdom. To be very precise, Ireland covers a total area of 84,412 square kilometres. Now if, like me, you're useless at mathematics, that'll mean absolutely nothing. But if it's any use to you, Ireland is about the same size as the country of Austria in Europe, and if you're from the States, we're about the same size as West Virginia. Average temperature is 15 degrees Celsius or 65 degrees. It's coming out of the sky. Last week it rained twice, once for 3 days and then again for 4 days. Is it too early? Now it's not raining today, that's the main thing, and hopefully it'll continue that way for the duration of our tour. Now coming up at the left as we go through the lights, folks, you're going to see the main facade of Trinity College. This is going to be our next stop. Trinity College has been an institution in Dublin since 1592, and it was founded by a very famous lady, Queen Elizabeth I. She founded it for 3 reasons: to convert the Irish to the Protestant persuasion, to put manners on us, and to civilize us. And she succeeded in failing on all 3. Today it's non-denominational. It covers 42 acres, little city in itself, over 14,000 students. You've probably heard of the famous ones: Oscar Wilde, Bram Stoker, Jonathan Swift, Oliver Goldsmith, Samuel Beckett. Dublin is proud of the fact that we've three men who've won the Nobel Prize: Samuel Beckett, William Butler Yeats, and George Bernard Shaw. This is stop number 2. It's for Trinity College. It's also the stop for shopping. Straight ahead of you, Grafton Street, our pedestrian shopping district. It gets its name from King William III of Orange. He was also known as the Count of Nassau, which in his lifetime was a place in Prussia. Very long title. Now, King William is most famous in Ireland for his victory over his father-in-law, King James II, at the infamous Battle of the Boyne, which is a river in Ireland, on the 1st of July 1690. Biggest ever battle in Irish history, 50,000 men involved. To cut a very complicated and long story short, simply where a Dutchman defeated a Scotsman for the throne of England in Ireland. Design Centre. For quality, Irish products, look no further than Nassau Street. Facing all of these shops, of course, on the left is Trinity College. As I mentioned to some of you before, Trinity is a little city in itself. It covers 42 acres, the very modern library on your left there. Very typical 1970s building. And as we go beyond that, you'll see the playing fields, and this will give you an idea as to how big Trinity actually is. Coming into view now. The British Empire after London. Now these are typical Georgian buildings ahead of us, folks. We're going to be seeing these for the next 15 minutes or so. You can always tell a Georgian building because the windows get smaller as you go higher. That was to create the illusion of height in Georgian times. Also, there was a very high tax on glass. So I guess by designing your house like that, you could save a great deal of money. It's where the phrase comes into the English language, daylight robbery. We're bringing you to Merrion Square. This is a fully preserved Georgian square just ahead of us. It's a national treasure and protected by government law. Laid out in 1762. Take all the cars, buses and trucks away, folks. It's really quite easy to imagine what the area would have looked like in the 18th century when everyone travelled around here in a horse-drawn carriage. Very famous John Toast of London society. His plays include The Importance of Being Earnest and Lady Windermere's Fan, which is currently running in Dublin at the moment. Might surprise you to learn that Oscar was married to a lady called Constance. They had 2 sons. Totally overshadowed by the fact that he had a homosexual affair with Lord Alfred Douglas, quite scandalous in the 19th century. Oscar subjected to a highly publicised court case and trial and sentenced to 2 years hard labour in the Reading jail prison. Rather sad for him, because whilst he was in prison, his wife died of cancer, and when he got out of jail, he was refused access to his 2 sons. He never saw them again. If you look to your right, the National Gallery. Monet, Manet, Picasso, Turner, Rembrandt, Renoir, Degas, Vermeer, over 2,000 paintings. It's all free. Perfect for a rainy afternoon. Right next door, the Irish Parliament, where the Irish government sits. The house built in 1745. The Prime Minister of Ireland, known as the Taoiseach, which is an Irish word. It means chieftain. As you may know, that is Mr. Bertie Ahern. We call him the... Lovely example of a door on the right there as we go by, number 46.
Picture.
In Dublin, we have the Georgian Preservation Society, and of course the aim of that is to preserve these buildings for as long as possible. Stop number 8 is next. Stop number 8 for the Dublin Tourism Centre, the major tourism centre for the city. Access to the internet, foreign exchange, little cafe here too. And as you can see, it's located in a church. You can no longer pray there, but you can now surf the web. The church dates from 1866. It's also handy to know there's a post office on the left. Heading into a financial part of town, we're turning left onto Dane Street. We're going to see plenty of banks, savings and loan and building societies. Hard to believe, but it is over 3 years ago that Ireland joined up with 11 other countries and switched over to the euro on the 1st of January 2002, when literally overnight 50 billion coins and 15 billion notes came into circulation for more than 350 million Europeans. Biggest changeover in the history of the world. Now if you look at the notes, they were designed by an Austrian. You'll notice that they're covered in windows, bridges and gates. These represent a spirit of openness, communication and cooperation all over Europe. Unless, of course, you're living in Sweden, Denmark or the United Kingdom. Just a moment. Coming into view on our right. Let me go through the lights. As you'll notice, he did a fantastic job at the blending of him and the surrounding buildings, making it look like a multi-story car park. Now continuing along James Street, to your right you're going to see a whole series of narrow cobblestone streets. These are all known collectively as Temple Bar, Dublin's cultural quarter. So called because there's more bars, pubs, nightclubs and restaurants down here than in the rest of the city put together. It might look familiar or maybe it's Stop number 9 is next. This is for Temple Bar and also for Dublin Castle. If anyone wishes to visit the castle, this is the stop for you. We can't actually see it yet, but this is the stop. If you're getting excited about seeing a castle, you're going to be bitterly disappointed. I'm afraid it looks nothing like a castle today. It's really a Georgian palace from the 18th century. If you look up to the left, we can see part of it. It's where the Irish government holds their state receptions. Bill Clinton, Prince Charles have dined here. Margaret Thatcher, Nelson Mandela have slept here. Not at the same time. Castle is also where the President of Ireland would be inaugurated every 7 years. At the moment, the President, as you may know, it's a lady. Her name is Mary McAleese, the Irish head of state, the defender of the Irish Constitution. She's our 8th President, our 2nd Lady President in succession, and the 1st President from beautiful state apartments. From a historical point of view, folks, I would put Dublin Castle on the top of your list for things to visit. Excellent tour, celebrating 800 years. So now we head to the medieval, older part of Dublin. Straight ahead of us we can see what is Dublin's oldest building. This is Christ Church Cathedral. It dates as far back as the year 1038. It was originally a Viking wooden structure and then rebuilt out of stone by the Anglo-Normans in 1170. Now this is where you'll find an exhibition called Dublinia. You can see the red flags coming up on the right there. Dublinia is the old medieval name for Dublin. It's a presentation of life in the city from the 12th to the 15th century, so it serves as a great introduction to Dublin. And as part of that tour, if you have the energy, you can climb 97 steps to the city centre. But don't forget, you have to climb 9...
Be careful now. So you can remember, just keep an eye open on what you want.
$10. I don't have all my money in here.
Was €5.
You gotta get this glass out.
Dad. Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
You got that on tape.
Gravity bar, brewery bar. Lunch menu.
Keep mommy drinking. I mean, take mommy drinking.
My hand covering.
Yeah, and now it is.
You got a plate of food right over your head.
Mommy, smile.
Ah, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Drink. I want this. May I taste this?
Yeah, you can taste it.
Thank you.
May I please taste it?
This is good. Oh, it's barley. Look at this barley, Cat.
Arthur grabbed a pickaxe from one of them and declared that if they filled it up from end to end, he would immediately reopen it. It was a confrontation Arthur couldn't afford to lose, because as a brewer, he needed. Finally, after 10 years of arguing, Arthur became the corporation's tenant, and for a rent of £10 a year, he could take as much water as he liked from the city supply through a 2-inch wide pipe. This wasn't the only threat Arthur had to face. In the 1770s, a popular new ale was being imported from London. People
That's where the microphone is. So just gotta hold on to the microphone.
the stage is set for us to see the traditional craft of coopering. The master cooper, Steve Duncan, will take us step by step through all the stages from the black one making with the axe to the final driving over of the chime within the mold. We can with the skill and efforts of the manufacturer of the once familiar Guinness Woodwind Cup. No rule or gauge is used. Dick relies on his eye to judge the accuracy of his work.
Ooh,
is this a Dublin?
what do you think? That's all you have to say. Hey, look, there's a car on top of. Wait, that's a semi.
It's a semi. Yeah, there's a little green car and a blue car.
Yeah.
Red car.
Oh, who cares? There's all different color cars. What are you gonna sign up for? A brown car and a gold car? Who really cares? Yeah. There's just so much light falling right now.
No, here. Zoom in on this. Put the light on.